Hi, and welcome to another edition of On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my left is Dusty Jolliff. I always want to combine that for some reason. Dusty,
did good.
How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, before we get into why you're here, which is a very fine cause, and God bless you for starting this ministry, and we'll get into the heart of it. Let's talk about you for a little bit. You're a Fayette County resident?
Yes.
Born and raised?
No.
No.
My parents grew up here.
Okay.
And
Who are your parents?
Jeff Jolliff and Debbie Jastorf.
Okay.
She was Debbie Brandenburg when she lived here. We moved when I was 7.
Okay.
And
to Connorsville?
to California.
Oh,
we
California. So you were here and then moved to California.
And then we moved to California when
Okay.
my dad got a job out there.
Okay.
And
What part of California?
San Diego.
Oh, well, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
So beautiful,
Yeah.
but so expensive.
I bet.
So I wanted to come back home. Well, pretty much since we left.
Wow.
So we always used to visit, and friends and family, and I've just always loved it here, and Connorsville's always been my home. So.
You know, at 7 years old, I mean, that's kind of young to... I left Dayton when I was 16, West Carrollton, where I grew up at, and then moved over here. And so I have, you know, those 16 years of over there. It's been over 30 now. So 7 years old, I mean, Connorsville at 7 must have made a huge... Fayette County must have made a huge impact on you. What are some of the things you remember back then?
Oh, well...
And the difference between here and San Diego.
Well, back then I remember... Well, always Kunkel's.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Even before, when I would drive into town, before I'd go visit any friends or family, I hit Kunkel's first.
Yeah.
For a chocolate marshmallow Coke.
Yeah.
You know, Pete's King, we used to, on the weekends, we would go visit my grandma, Grimmy, and we would eat the same meal every Sunday, chicken and noodles and cream corn and lumpy mashed potatoes.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm gaining weight and hungry at the same time.
Right?
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, I'm gaining weight.
Right.
We used to go out to my Uncle Jim's and Aunt Vi's, and the adults would play cards, and the kids would go play down in the basement. You know, mostly I just remember just my friends and family. Yeah. You know, I remember Macy's grocery store, which is no longer there.
Right.
I remember just playing in the Roberts Park and doing the Easter egg hunts.
Right. Yeah.
But mostly just the people that I love.
Felt home.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that in California because it was just you guys? You didn't have any family out there?
Well, my grandma, she was out there. But other than that, no, we had...
The palm trees, the sunny skies, the beach, none of that?
I know. We have... And I miss the beach so much.
Oh, yeah.
And the Mexican food.
Yeah, authentic and very, very good. Not that we have great Mexican food here in Fayette County, we really do. Again, I have where I came from somewhere, it's over here. And when I was younger, I hated it here because there was nothing to do. Over there in Dayton, we had, where I grew up at, we had the Dayton Mall right down the street. We had so much to do. But I grew to love Fayette County. And it has to do with the people. The people here are authentic and genuine, and it's what keeps me here. And I'm sure that's one of the things that you noticed when you came back. It never left.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. The scenery may have changed, but the people haven't.
Right. Oh yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed too. Yeah, it's like I remember when it was just two lanes down Park Road, and this building was here and that building was there, and now things have changed. But again, the heart of Fayette County, the heart of the people, have not changed. Yeah, we have our issues, we have our problems, and that's what we're going to talk about today. One of the things that really doesn't get talked about here in Fayette County, and again, we know the issues that we deal with. We have an epidemic, the drug problem epidemic that's tragic. It affects everybody. It's affected, it affects everybody in some way or form. But one thing that doesn't get talked about is the homeless situation here in Fayette County. And you're here to do something about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
Well, we've created a faith-based organization called The Shelter. We are... I read a while back an article in the paper about homeless teens sleeping under the 5th Street Bridge. Wow. Yeah, and that's when it kind of got my attention, and I thought, we need to do something about this. And so I was, at the time, kind of helping Josh Lackey run his ministry called The Ministry.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he really has a heart just for feeding people and just getting out and, meeting needs. If somebody needs groceries, he'll go help them get groceries and things like that. And then he came across a article in the paper about Dave DeBoard, who is with Saved by Grace Ministries.
And that here in Fayette County?
Here in Fayette County.
See, these are things that I'm not aware of, and we need to get more awareness of that.
Absolutely.
So Saved by Grace Ministries here in Fayette County, led by who?
Dave DeBoard.
Dave DeBoard. Awesome.
Yes, he did an article in the paper, or they did one on him, about wanting to open up a homeless shelter. So when Josh read that and told me about it, we contacted Dave and decided to combine our efforts.
Awesome.
So the three of us, along with some others, Jason Spears and Rusty Willis, we have all been working together for the past year or so, trying to get, established as a nonprofit, our 501c3. We've done that now, and now we're just looking for a building. We're actually looking for funding for a building, so we're trying to get out there and fundraise.
Awesome.
For a building.
Now, again, when we think of the needs of Fayette County, the first thing is we need adequate care for addiction. In homelessness, you just don't really talk about that. That's not. Give me some stats on the need for the homeless. Well,
there are every year the state mandates a homeless count. It's called Point in Time. It's run, every 92 counties in Indiana, they all do it. Ours is run by Jessica Flum with Meridian Health Services. And last year, when they did the count, they found 19. And that's just the ones they could find. Right. We've got homeless people camping out at Smalley's, under the 5th Street Bridge. They went everywhere, out in the woods. They found 19. That does not include people who are just couch surfing that really don't have a permanent address.
And that's what I was going to say. There are a lot of people that don't have adequate housing as well.
Right.
The couch surfing is something that's probably a whole lot more than what we would think.
Yeah. And, not everybody wants help, but...
Right.
So last year with the 19 that they could find, they did find one teenager.
That's unacceptable.
He was living in the old abandoned Walmart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they found him. I was told they got him placed with a family member, but, you've got teenagers raising themselves.
Yeah, that's just unacceptable.
It is.
You talked about people not wanting help. Everyone needs help.
Right.
I know I need help in a lot of areas of my life, and we all need help. When you find that people don't want help, what's your response? Do you always just leave the door open and say, "Here we are"?
Yeah. You can't force anybody to want help. You can just let them know that you love them and you're there for them. And what we are doing, and what Jessica Flum and the people that she's been working with are doing, are creating care packages, which just have little snacks, toiletries, hats, gloves, scarves, things like that, so that when we do come across people that are homeless or need it, we will hand them these care packages and just let them know, hey, here's a little something to help you out, because people, are oftentimes too proud to ask.
Oh, sure.
And just let them know that, if you need anything, you can call on us.
Right. And toiletries are something that's very, very overlooked, in a sense that we meet people's needs by food and we feed people, and that's important. You got to eat to live. But deodorant, feminine products for ladies, deodorant, any of those things, shampoo, they can really, if somebody feels clean, they feel a little bit more empowered. And so, again, there's the disturbing is the kids, but again, you get clean up kids and they can help, themselves and teach themselves to get better. What other things do you guys offer other than the toiletries?
Well, when we finally do get a building, what we want to do is offer transitional housing. We want to help people, with job interview skills, how to build a resume, how to how to get a job and keep a job, and then how to budget your money. We want to give them an opportunity to practice budgeting by using transitional housing, we don't have all the details worked out just yet, but we'd like to say, for example, we charge you $10 a week,
Right.
to live in the transitional housing. Now that would be different from the actual shelter,
Right.
And then we would take that $10 and just kind of store it away for you, so that when you're ready to get your own place and move out on your own,
money.
you would have money there to pay for a deposit, to your first month's utility bills, things of that nature.
And I think that's very important. God's laid it on my heart too. I would love to be. I'm working on ministries over in Ohio as well, where I come from, and one of the things that I feel like there's a lack of, and the things that you're hitting on right now, is that people do need job interviewing skills. People do need interview clothes. They do need, again, the toiletries that we talked about. You feel empowered with that. Like I said, you get some kid who's 16, 17 years old, and we plant that seed of, okay, you can make it no matter where you're at. We're going to give you the tools, and these are the tools that you need: job interviewing skills. You need to have those things that you're hitting on, and those get overlooked. How can we get that message out to people to maybe donate some clothes that they don't have anymore, some dress clothes?
Well, we have our website. You can go to shelterconnorsville.org, and on the website we have a list of things that we are asking people to donate. And we've been on the radio, WLPK 106.9 FM. They've gone on the radio. They've done public service announcements for us, just to raise awareness. We also have a Facebook page. Already, because of the Facebook page, Jabin Collins, he and his wife put together on their own 6 care packages and just dropped them off at my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and anybody that wants to donate, they can contact us. All of our information is on the website or the Facebook page, and
got all kinds of information. You guys really sat around and thought about this so much, and then again, it's about walking out and seeing needs, and it's amazing. It's amazing that this has not been talked about more.
Right.
It's out of sight, out of mind.
It is. And we're not a big city. We don't have homeless people holding up cardboard signs saying we'll work for food, or homeless veteran needs help.
Right.
So if you don't see it, you don't know about it, and we're just trying our best to just raise awareness and let everyone know that, hey, this is a problem that needs attention and needs resolved. And it's not only for Connorsville. We want to also help our neighbors in Rushville and Liberty and Brookville, Centerville, Cambridge City, wherever people need help. We want them to know we can come to us, but our need right now is we need them to have a building to come to.
Right, yeah.
But I've been in touch with Baptist Temple, and they have decided to open their doors when needed for homeless, to get them out of the winter weather. Not really, when I talked to them, they didn't have many people that had taken them up on the offer, but I'm not sure many people knew about it. So I've got the number of a man whose name I didn't get permission to say on the air. So,
oh, that's all right.
I have the number of a man who told me that all we have to do, if we find a homeless person that needs a place to stay, just call him up, and he'll make sure that the building gets open and stays open. So
get a hold of Dusty on shelterconnorsville.org. And she'll get you in contact with a gentleman that would like to help, and that's awesome. We have that. Again, thinking about getting the word out, it's a matter of accepting that yes, there are faults in this kind of. We talk about. It's easy to talk about the negatives. It's easy to talk about this or that, and we try to counter it with all the positives. I mean, I can go on and on about the positives, but again, homeless and homeless kids. I live next to the park. I had heard that there are families that are living in the park. We got to get them out of there and get them help. You talk about other counties getting help as well, partnering. Have you went with them to find out, okay, how did they get a building? How did they and try to draw from that?
We have it in the works, working on contacting the other cities just to let them know where as of yet. We've just kept it local here to Connorsville. But we do have plans in the works to start contacting other towns and just let them know that we are here and we want to help in any way we can. And some people have come to me already saying we want to help. For example, there's going to be a silent auction on February 10th, put on by the Heart Gallery and Sunny Amerman. And she organized it all herself and just heard about it and decided out of the goodness of her heart that she wanted to help. So
and where's that going to be at again?
It's in Roberts Park in the James E. Roberts Memorial Building. Okay. It'll be Saturday, February 10th from 12 to 4.
Oh, wow.
So she just put on a silent auction. Now, all the donations for that she's going to give to Saved by Grace Ministries because she knows Dave DeBoard, and then, Dave will do use it to help the homeless. And he is also, Dave has it laid on his heart. We also, as a part of this, want to open a soup kitchen. And if we can get that open first, great. It doesn't really matter to me how it comes about, just as long as it does.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so he wants to open a soup kitchen to just be able to feed people, all day, every day.
Right.
We also have Kroger Community Rewards, which is a program that if you want to help, and this doesn't cost you a thing, you just go online to KrogerCommunityRewards.com and you can link your Kroger card to our organization, to the Shelter Incorporated. And all it doesn't affect your fuel points or anything. All it does is
10%.
Yeah, for what you spend will go to us, and then at the end of a quarter, Kroger will send
you a check.
Yeah, and you know all about it.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely. And I linked, when I was a pastor over at Grace, we had that, and it still goes on. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just go to the Kroger, we link your card, and whatever you buy $100 worth of stuff, $10 goes to the ministry. And these are simple ways for people to help out. But getting the word out is more important. Getting the word out, getting the event. Again, this is something that when you think of kids being homeless, families being homeless with kids, it's hard to just accept that. It's because of the fact that our kids are our future, and we want to break that cycle of poverty. Again, one thing I'm excited about is the fact that you're wanting to meet every need and chain up. Is there anything that you've worked with the schools, or have you got in contact with the schools to get the word out?
I haven't contacted the schools as of yet. I've heard. I need to call and confirm that the schools will actually open up their PE gym lockers for showers if you go there, before school starts and leave before school starts. I do need to confirm that with the high school. I haven't contacted them as of yet. We're just taking baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah, I'm so happy
a good idea.
With everything you guys are going through. Happy. Now, again, how does someone, other than just going to the website, is there any other ways that anybody can get involved?
They can contact us by phone or email. I will get back to any email within 3 business days. And our email address is theshelterinc@shelterconnorsville.org.
Shelter Inc. at
shelterconnorsville.org. I know it's a mouthful.
No, I like it. Yeah.
Our phone number is 765-544-0065. And that will go directly to my phone or Jason Spears' phone. And we will, if you can leave a message, and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. Or if we're available, we'll pick up. And then Facebook. We can do facebook.com /Connorsville Shelter.
It's about empowering people.
It is.
Yeah, and I think when you help out, you feel empowered.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like our job, is to love God, and and how do you do that? Well, you love His people.
Right.
And we're on this earth for one simple reason, and that is to love each other like Christ loved us.
Right.
And it's like, well, how did Christ love us? Well, all you have to do is just read through the Gospels.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah, and you'll just watch read what Jesus did and watch what He did, and you'll know how to do it too.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, my girlfriend and I are where my mom and dad grew up in an orphanage in Ohio. we're working on getting that ministry started, which is a lot of work. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You get the 501c3, getting people involved, and again, not that I don't want to do anything here, not at all, because I really believe in Fayette County. Were you surprised at the amount were you surprised when you started your research, when God laid this on your heart, were you surprised that there was this big of a need?
Yeah, I was, because I always thought that there was no homeless in Connersville because we're such a small community.
Yeah.
And everybody knows everybody. And so I figured, if everybody knows everybody, everybody has a place to stay.
Right.
But, that's not the case, you know. And, like I said, there's a drug problem.
Yeah.
So, people, it's hard to ask people to live with someone who's addicted to drugs.
Exactly.
And, if you're addicted to drugs, you're not going to be showing up for a job on time, let alone at all.
Right.
And then before you know it, bills are piling up and you can't pay them.
Right.
And, I don't know what it's like for an addiction to have a hold on you. But, no one wakes up and says, you know what, I want to be addicted to drugs today.
Right.
Right. Or, I don't feel like paying bills, so I'm going to just...
I would rather be homeless.
I'd rather be homeless. I'd rather just go live in a tent somewhere and in the middle of winter. That makes it fun.
Yeah, exactly. 2018 started off, my goodness, below zero temperatures, and people worry about the pets out there, but there are humans that are, especially young humans, that are trying to stay warm. And again, I would have never guessed that there were 19. And you're right, there's a whole lot more. But the need is not just with homeless. The need is rebuilding the lives of those who've lost and giving back what they once had.
There's always a cause. Nobody just, wakes up and decides to be homeless today. There's always an issue that has happened, maybe a tragedy that you just couldn't recover from.
Oh, I've been there. I lost my car. I know exactly what it means to lose. Some of it was obviously by the choices I've made. Some of it was by outside choices, but nonetheless, things happen. People get knocked down. That's just the way life is, and we can't sometimes get up on our own.
No, and people think, well, why don't you just go out and get a job?
Oh yeah, that's the easiest thing. Yeah.
Right, I work. I work for a living. Why don't you? And it's just it's unfortunately it's not as simple as that.
Right. Well, again, it goes back to: do you have a resume? Do you have access to make a resume? Do you have clothes? Do you have access to clean clothes? If a homeless person walks into a job, are you going to look at them like, no, you're not qualified? That's, and it's sad because if somebody wants a job, hopefully they can get it. Jobs are hard to come by at times.
I actually talked to a homeless man. He was actually standing on the corner of our Walmart out there on 1. He was standing at the light where the Walmart is. And I talked to him for a bit. And he said, he couldn't get a job because he was over a certain age.
Right, well.
And nobody wanted to hire him because he was so,
He looked homeless.
Yeah, he was, and he was a senior and he couldn't find a job. And, there's that too. There's when you're getting up to a certain age, companies will push you out the door and bring in younger talent that they don't have to pay as much.
Sure.
And it's also, it's heart issues. Sometimes it's mental health issues.
Yeah.
And if you can really deal with the heart issues and the, addictions, if, people come to us addicted, we want to work with the other ministries already in place and get them the help they need.
Yes.
Because they have to overcome that issue before they can even begin to overcome their homeless issue. If
I agree 100%. Again. You're right. It's a lot easier than just go get a job. Just go get a job. If they don't have the clothing, if they don't have the confidence, they've been beaten down. Now, again, we understand. I've been in situations where it's my fault. I've jumped into a hole and I need to get myself up. We all have been in those situations, but sometimes, still, if somebody falls in a hole, let's help them get out.
Yeah.
Because we all have fallen in holes on our. Who cares how they got there? If they want to get out of the hole, let's help them get out of the hole. And again, telling somebody to just go get a job that's that's all easy on paper,
Right.
but it's hard. And I used to work when I worked at Meridian's competitor. I used to work for them, not Meridian, and I tried to help people get jobs. I would help people who suffered from chronic mental illness to get jobs, and they wanted to work. They just didn't know how to. And people have been homeless for so long, they don't know how to, and that's where you come in to help them.
Absolutely. That's, it's important to just break the cycle and just teach people that, you are hope. Give them hope and tell them that, you are worthy of love and affection and you are worthy of, respect and dignity.
Dusty, you can't help everybody. I'm sure you've heard that.
Absolutely, but we can help the ones that we come in contact with.
Yeah, my favorite story, one of my favorite stories, is about the starfish. There's a little, all these starfish washed up on the beach, and you heard that story? And this little boy is tossing these starfish. And he's tossing them back in the ocean, and there's this older guy, kind of cynical, and he's standing there watching. He says, "Young man, you will never get all those starfish back into the water. You're wasting your time. You're not making a difference." And the little boy picks up a starfish and he throws it in the ocean and goes, "I made a difference to that one." I love that story.
I love that.
I made a difference to that one.
That's
and so
amazing.
you can make a difference to somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. That almost gets me choked up because it's like you just because you see an insurmountable doesn't mean that you can't get one person to climb the mountain. It's all about hope. It's all about, and to see and to know that there are children.
Yeah, it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
It does. And you know what? Every one person is important. Mm-hmm. And so if you help one, you've done a world of difference.
Exactly. Yeah, you can make a difference to one. That's
Absolutely.
where it starts. You got all kinds of notes here. I don't want to miss on some stuff.
We have, and this just came to my attention actually yesterday. There's a pastor, Aaron Chester, who I've contacted. He emailed me back this morning. He's from Gortner Memorial Church of the Nazarene, and it's out kind of towards Glenwood.
I did not know that there was one out there.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, wow.
But it was brought to my attention yesterday. They have put up 5 blessing boxes in our community. One on 5th Street, one on 3rd by the Speedway, one by Frazee School in the back by close to the Haven, one on 22nd in front of Sotastic,
right,
and then one near the Community Christian School on Western Avenue. And what they are they're just these red boxes you can put in toiletries and food and canned goods, and then people can come by and just take out what they need.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a way to help feed the homeless just by dropping off a few canned goods and some toilet paper and toiletries and things like that.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, it's kind of like leave a penny, take a penny, but
right.
leave an item, take an item.
That's right. God bless Aaron for coming up with that. And where are they located again?
They are at the they are at the Gortner Memorial Church of the Nazarene out by Glenwood.
Wow. So God
down the
bless
44,
Aaron.
yeah, God bless Aaron.
And the blessing boxes themselves are at 5th Street.
By Speedway on 3rd Street.
Speedway on 3rd Street.
In back of Frazee School, close to the Haven.
Oh, okay.
In front of Sotastic on 22nd. And then the Community Christian School on Western Avenue that used to be the Holiday Inn.
Right, yeah, that's awesome. Amazing. We can go on and on. I mean, really, we can go on and on. And, this is this is something that's needed here in Fayette County. And if you have a building that you would like to donate, please contact Dusty. Please contact this organization. If you have funds to donate, if you have time to donate, if you have materials to donate, if you have anything to donate for this worthy cause, please get a hold of Dusty Jolliff. She'll be more than happy to take your help, pray for you, and any final words?
Just that Jesus came, not to lord his power over us. Right. He came to get up underneath our issues and help us resolve them, and that's just what we're trying to do. We're trying to emulate that.
Absolutely. God bless you, Dusty.
Well,
thank you
for
very much.
Having
God bless
me.
the ministry and everybody who's helping, everybody who will help. And we'll see you next month on The Spot.